Hi, I'm Russell from the library, and this is my girlfriend Alex.
Hi, I also work at the Fairlawn Library, and today we will be demonstrating the game Not Alone.
Not Alone is a game that plays 2 to 7 people and plays for 30 to 45 minutes and is recommended for ages 10 and up. It is a game we have at the library, and it is a very fun kind of deduction, kind of social deduction game, asymmetrical play with a team of adventurers, just played by Alex right now, and an alien on an alien planet that the adventurers are trapped on, and that I am trying to keep them trapped forever. They will be exploring my planet Artemia that has cards numbered 1 through 10, and these allow the adventurers to explore the planet and see if they can find a way off it. There is a ship that is coming for them. This is their rescue ship that will be getting closer and closer to my planet every turn. And there are other ways to communicate to the shuttle to make it get there quicker. So Alex will kind of give you a rundown of her cards to explore my planet.
So, like Russ said, we are trying to get off the planet, so each turn we get closer, but also we want to play our cards to try to get off quicker. If I play a card and he guesses where I went, he will actually move his ship closer. It's an assimilation token, actually, and it'll move closer towards us, and if that gets to the middle first, then the explorers or the adventurers lose. So, what are some of the cards you can play? The first one is the Lair. Show it so you guys can see. And the Lair says, take back to your hand the place cards from your discard pile, or copy the power of the place with the creature token. Lose 1 extra will if caught by their creature token.
Right.
So, Russ's creature token is his little alien.
And I will go to the lair. If I find her there, she loses 2 of her will, which is basically her health points, and I'm basically breaking down her will to ever escape my planet.
Right. But if he went to, let's say, number 2, which I'll show you in a second, then I can use my card number 1 to copy number 2's power. So it is kind of a good way to use the other cards on the table without actually playing the card if you don't have it in your hand. Because once you play the card, it is face up on the table, and he knows where I've been, and he'll know what cards I have left in my hand. So, number 2, where Russ is right now, is the Jungle. So, the Jungle says, take back to your hand this place card and 1 place card from your discard pile. So, if I played this one second, then I would be able to take both these cards back to my hand. Now, you don't really want to play the cards in order just because he'll know then where you're going. Yeah. And the point is to have not be caught by the alien. So, number 3 is the River. And the River says, next turn, play 2 place cards. Before revealing, choose 1 and return the second to your hand. So basically, I would play this card first, and then on my next turn, I could play 2 cards face down. Once I see where he moves his, so let's say he moves his to number 4, I know I have 4 here. I don't want to play that card.
Because you will get caught.
Yeah, so I'll take that one back, and then I would play number 5 instead.
JK, I'm actually going to the Rover.
Exactly. So, number 4, where Russ is right now, is the Beach. So the Beach has an extra token that is off the card at first, and then when you play the Beach, it says, place the marker counter on the beach, or remove it and move the rescue counter forward 1 space.
So if she plays it a second time, it comes off, and the ship gets closer that turn.
Right, so every turn it gets closer by itself, and then we also get it closer by going on and off the beach. But if you go on the beach, Russ may know that the next person may try to play a beach card again to get it off the beach. So it's an easy way to get caught if you're not careful. Number 5, I think you guys can see, is the Rover. The Rover says, take from the reserve 1 place card you do not own and add it to your hand. So, like Russ said, there are 5 additional cards at the bottom. I normally don't have these in my hand to start, but once I play the Rover, I can then get one of these cards.
Exploring further on the planet.
Right. Now, if I go to play the Rover and Russ happens to put his creature token on that spot, I not only don't get the extra card, but I also lose 1 of my will tokens. So Russ would then move his creature assimilation token closer, and I would be 1 step closer to losing.
Right.
Which would not be good.
So basically the role of the creature is to kind of mind read the adventurers. In a bigger game, there would still be only one alien creature, but there would be a whole host of adventurers. Up to 6 other people can play this game, with the creature being number 7. So I'm the creature, and I am trying to guess where they're going to go. So, like Alex was saying, if I catch her in any of these locations, I'm whittling down her health points, her will, to 0. And when she gets to 0, she gets all her cards back, but I go up 1 additional space because I've broken her down. And to basically giving up all her will and her reserve strength to fight me and my assimilation mind meld that I'm trying to do.
So now there is sometimes a special way to get your will back, and that is if you have a special card. So the game is played in phases, so depending on what your card says, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, or phase 4 is when you could play your special cards. Normally you can only play 1 per round. So if I were to play this during phase 1, it says regain 1 will. If I was down, now I could be at full health again and not risk getting caught. Another one that I have here to show you guys is called the Gate. And the Gate says, instead of using the power of your place card, copy the power of an adjacent place. So this would be played after I already pick my place, and then I could use a card next to it instead of the actual card power if I'd like.
And next to is left or right, and then also up or down.
As well.
That is also an adjacent.
Right, and I'll explain what the cards on the bottom do too, but they're basically the same as the top, just a little bit better. So the last one I want to show you guys is Hologram. And Hologram says, move the Artemia token to an adjacent place. Now you may be asking, what is the Artemia token? Well, Russ is going to explain that.
Right, so I have other tokens besides the creature token that can help me in my quest to keep these explorers here forever. One of them is the Artemia token, which you'll see, Alex, if you could show them, is on the card that I play. I have 3 hunt cards in my hand, and I can play any one of them in the phase indicated. So Phobia says that I can play this in the hunting phase. So Alex was saying there's an exploration phase where she will choose one of her cards to play, and then the hunt phase where I place my tokens, and then the next phase is the reckoning, where she will reveal where she explored, and phase 4 is end of turn cleanup, basically. So it says on Phobia that I must force 1 hunted to show all but 2 place cards from their hand. So I have a good idea, if they have a big hand, where they might be going, barring 2 other cards in their hand. So if they had all 5, they'd have to show me 3, and then I could assume that they're obviously not in those 3 places, and then they could be in... Actually, you would play 1, because you only have 5 cards. But anyway, I would have a good idea of where they are on my planet. And then I also get to play an Artemia token, which, if they get caught by the Artemia token, they don't lose will, they just lose a potential place that they could explore on my planet. The target token I could play with a card that has the target symbol on it. This one is Force Field, which is played before the explorers visit a place on my planet. And basically I would say there is a force field around cards 4 and 5, so you can't go to the beach and you can't go to the rover. So then they would have 3 choices to play from, but if they've already played a few cards, I have a good idea of where they might be.
So, for example, if Russ put the alien token on number 3 and the force token on 4 and 5, and let's say I already played 1, he knows that, well, I mean, he wouldn't have played this here yet, but he knows one of my cards is only going to be 2 or 3. So his choice between where I am is a lot easier to pick, and it's a lot easier to catch me. So his special powers are also really good, but like I said, the adventurers, explorers also have special cards as well to hopefully help us escape. So it's a little easier when there's more people playing because there's less of a chance that he'll get you. I mean, I guess it's a little easier
well,
too
yeah,
if it's
so
only one person,
there are more adventurers, more space cadets to catch at various locations. then that's why my assimilation token would go further back on the track, and consequently her rescue wouldn't come as quickly either. So that is some of the HUD cards. The last one doesn't have a token associated with it. It just bars her from using a power. So basically the beach and the wreck are useless this turn. You can't use the powers, but you could still go there. Kind of like if that was the only card she could play, I would bar her from doing that with this card. And there's a whole host of other powers and things, but basically it gives the creature an advantage. Sometimes you need it.
Especially since the game is sometimes 1 versus 4.
Right.
It gives the alien a chance to hopefully win.
Right.
So a couple other cards that I'll show you are the bottom half. So like I said, these are pretty much like the top half, just slightly better. So number 6, you guys can see there, is called the Swamp. And it says, take back to your hand this place card and 2 place cards from your discard pile. So basically like the lair, except, well, the lair you would take all. So it's basically like the jungle, where you can take back.
Yeah, the Swamp is a better jungle.
Right. So the next one, number 7, is the Shelter. And it says, draw 2 survival cards, choose one and discard the second. So remember, the survival cards are these guys that help you either gain back will or copy other place powers.
That doesn't have an equivalent in the starting hand. It's just better. It's a better card because you get survival and they allow you to do special stuff.
Yeah. So number 8, you guys can see there's the wreck. That's the one Russ mentioned. The beach and the wreck would be in unplayable, I guess the word is.
Right.
Would be unplayable if he played that card. But if he didn't, I could use the wreck and I move the rescue counter forward 1 space.
Without troubling yourself with the beach
It's
token.
a better beach card.
It's a better beach card.
Number 9 is the Source, and it says the hunted of your choice, so myself or another player, regains 1 will. And if there's nobody who needs to gain will, you could draw 1 survival card. So this one's also really, really good. And the last one is number 10, and that is the Artifact. And the Artifact says, next turn, play 2 placed cards, resolve both places. You may not copy the Artifact. So basically, it's like the other one where you could play 2 and then you would take back 1, except this one you get to do both. So
it's a better beach, but with a catch. You're going to both places. So that doubles your chances of being caught. True. However, if you don't get caught, you get to do 2 things, which is really friggin' awesome.
Yes. So it's a very fun game. It is, like Russ said, a little bit more complicated than your average game, but it is really easy to learn. I've played it with my dad and my sister, who aren't really gamers, at least so they say, and they picked it up pretty quickly and they really enjoyed it. Russ really likes this game, and I like it a lot too.
I enjoy the sci-fi theme of it, and that's why I recommended that we get it in our collection at the library. It gives you a bit more decision-making than something we showed earlier in the week, which is Love Letter, which is basically take a card, play a card. In this one, you kind of have to play mind games with each other to kind of outthink the other side. So if I know that you have a bunch of cards that you want to get back into your hand, you're probably going to play the jungle or the swamp. But then I know that, and will try to do something else to outsmart me. Maybe go to the river, and then you play 2 cards. And then that way you're able to decide, like, oh, the creature's there, let me avoid him, and I'll go to the other direction that I was thinking of going, which may be the lair, because you don't want to get caught red-handed and lose all your will. So it's a really fun game. Alex and I have played it a few times, like she said, with her family. And that is Not Alone. So next week, we'll be talking about Bang, the dice game, which involves cowboys. So, you've got cowboys and aliens at the library. In this game, we'll be rolling dice and having shootouts in the Wild West.
All right, thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.